So it's recording.
Yeah.
Okay. So I start out with Terrakion because it's a general good lead since I have the Sash. So I start out with the Stone Edge, not sure if he wanted to stay in or not. And he switches, so that's kind of annoying. But I really wanted to get up the rocks since I had the Sash. I knew that Jirachi wouldn't one-shot me no matter what. And I'm like, I'm afraid of the flinch, but at the same time, I thought he might expect my switch and go for the U-turn because that's like what Terrakion would stay in that situation. But he does stay and go for the Iron Head. I switch in Magzone, obviously. He goes for the U-turn. I go for the substitute. Um, he goes for the Earth Power, so now I know he has Earth Power. And I just, get some damage on the Hydreigon. Switch to my special defensive Dragonite as he goes for another Earth Power, not expecting my switch. And then he goes for the Draco Meteor and misses while I get out my substitute. So that was really fortunate. I know I could have lived a Draco Meteor because I have max HP, max special defense. But that was still really fortunate. So he goes for the switch as I go for the Dragon Tail. I'm not really sure about that switch. And I switch in the Volcarona, which was just amazing because the rocks are up, so it's pretty much dead. And so he goes for the Bug Buzz. He can't even break my sub. I go for another another Dragon Tail, killing the Volcarona. And I get burned like I always do, like 100% of the time. And that's kind of fine. Like, I don't really care. It's just like it phases shit, so it's still good. Go for another Dragon Tail, of course. And then this annoying Whimsicott comes out. And I expected to go for the priority, like Leech Seed maybe, or priority Taunt. I wasn't really sure, but I went for the substitute, which probably wasn't a good play. But I guess I didn't think that went all the way through. And now I'm going to go for the Roost as he goes for the Protect, so that was pretty helpful. At least I got some health back. And he's already at 100% health, so he's not really benefiting. So now I pretty much have to switch out. I switch out to Cure on Black as he goes for the Substitute, which is, that makes sense. Leech Seeds, yeah, we can see where this is going. I should switch out of this probably sooner, but I wasn't really sure. Like, I was just, I don't know, staying in for a little bit. And yeah, I wanted to break his sub, and then when he goes for the next Protect, I was going to switch. So I expected to Protect. He goes for the Toxic. Okay, that's fine. Still not doing anything. So now I'm probably going to Dragon Tail him. I think I have the Fire Punch. I'm not sure, actually. So he goes for the Leech Seed, and I go for the Dragon Tail just to get him out of there for now. Hydreigon switches in. I think I can take a hit from it, unless it goes for the Draco Meteor. And it goes for the Draco Meteor, so that kills. And it was already burned and like low on health, so I was kind of okay with that. Jirachi goes in for the Revenge Kill, and I go for the Ice Punch. And he switches into his Jirachi, which makes sense. And I decided to stay in and go for another Ice Punch, hoping for the freeze, and I actually get the freeze, so that's pretty nice. So now I'm just going to switch into Magnezone and, kill it. Except for the fact that it thaws out first turn and goes for the Wish, so that's pretty unfortunate. And now it's going to go for the U-turn. Pretty obvious. Switches into Hydreigon. I go for the Thunderbolt. I guess I should have probably switched to something else because that Hydreigon is now back at full health. Go for the switch into Cure on Black because I know I can wall pretty much anything except Draco Meteor, but I don't think he would go for it. So now he switches into Jirachi. I expected go for the Dragon Claw. I should have actually gone for the Outrage because I could have two-shotted it, but I wasn't aware. I should have been aware. Anyways, he goes for the Iron Head, trying to kill my Kyurem. That's fine. U-turn into Scissor, which is really weird, as I go for the Hidden Power Fire, so that's a one-shot. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. That's a weird decision on his part. So he goes for the Whimsicott, and I am going to stay in and go for the Hidden Power Fire. And, he gains back some health. And then go for another Hidden Power Fire as he goes for the Leech Seeds, hoping to kill. Doesn't kill. Unfortunate. So this Whimsicott is still going to be annoying. It's still going to be a problem. I have to switch out to Jirachi. I know that I can outspeed it because, he's got Prankster, never mind. So he switches out, which is kind of odd. I go for the Ice Punch. Maybe I can get another freeze. Maybe I go for another Ice Punch just to, because I don't know. I just hoping for the freeze again, and I don't get it, so that's fine. He goes for the Iron Head. I switch in Magnezone, of course. Now he's going to go for the U-turn, and I'll probably go for the Thunderbolt or Hidden Power Fire. Hidden Power Fire. Probably should have gone for the Thunderbolt. Wasn't sure if he would stay in or not. So I go for the switch into Cure on Black, kind of as death fodder, because I knew he was going to go for the Earth Power pretty much, and I had nothing to switch in. And, I wasn't entirely sure about, switching in Slowbro, but I thought about it. So I go for the Ice Punch again as he switched, and I really should have just gone for the U-turn, thinking back on that. So he goes for the Wish as I go for the Terrakion switch in. I go for the Close Combat because I don't have Earthquake, and it doesn't kill, which I should have expected. So that kind of sucks. And he's just going to get his life back with Jirachi. So that didn't turn out too well. So I'm going to bring in Slowbro. And I'm kind of trying to burn this thing at this point and do some damage to it. So he goes for the U-turn and switches into Hydreigon as I go for another Flamethrower. Still don't do much to it. I didn't think I could wall it, so I switch into Jirachi to take the Draco Meteor. And it gets a crit, which is relatively significant, but that's kind of fine. So I U-turn and switch into Slowbro, because I know I can take anything from it now that its special attack is tapped, but it gets the defense drop, which is kind of worrying me, the special defense drop. But I decided to stay in anyways and go for the Ice Beam, because I figured I could still take something, and he switches into Jirachi, and that's fine. So I go for the Flamethrower. I probably should have been going for the Scalds right now, but I thought I might be able to two-shot it, but no, I wasn't quite able to. And so I go for the Scald now, and I don't get the burn. And he goes for the Thunder, which scares me because I didn't even know he had that. He goes for the Wish. I thought he had to go for the Wish, so I go for the Scald to try to burn him again. Still don't get it. So now switch to Magnezone to take the Thunder that was predicted. He goes for the Thunder, hits it, gets the Paralyze, goes for the U-turn, all kind of obvious. Goes for the Hydreigon. I should have gone for the Thunderbolt, because that's pretty sad, living with 9%, but I decide to stay in, and it goes for the Fire Blast, and it misses, but then I get paralyzed, so that didn't turn out, like, I don't know, that was kind of risky, and it didn't turn out so well. But he hits the second one, and then goes for the Draco Meteor, which I barely live, as I figured I would, and Ice Beam takes him out. I probably could have gone for something safer, like Scald, and which would have still killed him. So I switch out to get more health with Slowbro, as well as escape the Toxic, which was pretty obvious. I switch back to Slowbro expecting, pretty much anything, like maybe Leech Seed, maybe Protect, and I just wanted the Regenerator because I figured I would need it. And he goes for the Leech Seed as I switch back into Magnezone, and that's fine. I'm gonna switch out to Jirachi, expecting him to expect my switch, and so I go for the Ice Punch, and it kills it. So that was really nice. So that's one Pokemon down, and now he only has two pretty much since his Volcarona is already dead. He goes for the Thunder, it hits. It doesn't really matter, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. He turns out, goes to Volcarona, lets it die. Just as death fodder, like I was gonna die anyway. So then he switches in Jirachi again, which was weird. But he does have a plan. He goes for the Wish, I go for the Hidden Power, and then he goes for the U-turn into Kyurem Black, and I go for nothing. I think I might have actually predicted that switch and gone for the Flash Cannon. I'm pretty sure I did, and that was kind of sad because I figured like he wouldn't do that switch otherwise. But he goes for the Stone Edges and stuff, and they weren't doing much damage to me as I expected, even with Kyurem Black's 170 base attack. And that Stone Edge miss was pretty significant. Otherwise, I would have had to switch, especially if he hit a crit, he probably would have just won. But he hits a crit then, and I live with 3%, and that's good. 3%, that's nice. That's gonna help me. So now he just has a Jirachi against my Magnezone, Jirachi, and Slowbro. So I'm in a pretty good position, I would say, but it's still not a great position because he has Wish, so that's tough. So I still have to try with this battle. So I go for the Substitute to try to avoid being flinched to death, because I figured that's what he was going to do. And his Thunders would take 3 to kill a Substitute. So I figured that was the best option. He goes for Thunder again and misses. So now I would have expected him to go for a Wish, and he just keeps going for Thunders, so I get fully paralyzed, and now I definitely expect the Wish, but I'm still just going for Hidden Power Fire, like, non-stop. And it actually hits. Luckily I don't get paralyzed, and I won the battle.